Hello and welcome to the Daily Journal's All-America City Google Hangout, live from Denver, Colorado. I'm Rod Wahardo, local government reporter for the Daily Journal, and today I'll be joined by members of the City of Tupelo, community members, and nonprofit organization members that are part of a team competing this weekend to bring back the city its 5th All-America City Award. We'll be discussing more about the All-America City Awards, hearing from members of the group competing, and get some feedback from a former mayor who led the last winning Tupelo team in 2011. Hosting this hangout with me today is Tupelo Mayor Jason Shelton, who is competing in his first All-America City Awards this weekend. Mayor, what's it like to be here in Denver with the group?
Thank you, Rod. It is exciting to be here. We have over 40 people from Tupelo that work with the city and volunteered their time and energy to be here. We're representing Tupelo to the best we can, and it's just amazing to see this many people genuinely excited about being an ambassador for their city.
Right.
And we talk about the Tupelo spirit. I think we're seeing it in action right here in Denver.
Absolutely, and we saw that yesterday going through the airports of Nashville and Denver. We're all wearing Tupelo matching shirts, as you see here. We got a shirt for each day, and going through the airport, we got a lot of hoots and hollers of Tupelo, Mississippi. And we talked yesterday a little bit about that, but what does it mean to you to have these folks be ambassadors and share the Tupelo spirit with folks from across the country?
Right. Growing up in Tupelo, you always hear about the Tupelo spirit, and it's something that's helped guide us over the decades. It helped us grow as a city to become the All-America City that I believe that we still are today. For the team members to go through the airport, to be on the airplane, to be here in Denver, to be ambassadors for the city. What's so important is these individuals are possibly the only Tupelo that the other people they encounter will ever know. So the impression that we give of the city of Tupelo, will create that image in someone's mind of what they think of when they see Tupelo, Mississippi. So what we've talked about in practice before we left on the plane and in the meetings here is just that we are Tupelo, that what we represent ourselves to be will be the only representation of Tupelo, Mississippi that someone ever sees. So we're going to do our best to put our best foot forward and let people know that we're a diverse group of people, that we're all unique, that we're white, black, Latino, Asian, that we're from all walks of life, but that we're one Tupelo, that we're unified, and that we're all committed to building a better Tupelo, Mississippi.
Absolutely, and just to give the viewers at home some background onto what All-America City is, it's given by the National Civic League. 16 communities from across the country are named finalists, and then those 16 communities compete for the 10 final spots. So Tupelo right now is here competing with 16 other communities from across the country, cities like Orlando, Tallahassee, really just a lot of big name cities, and Tupelo hopes to stay strong. And the way they're going to do that is by a lot of talented folks in the room that I have with us here today who are part of different groups from the community. Some of them are like the mayor said, Hispanic groups. We also have Plant a Seed, Police Athletic League, all aimed at helping vulnerable men and women in the community. So we're going to hear first off from the Plant a Seed folks. We have here with us today two members of that, the director here, Ms. Katana Purnell, and Josh Parks. Josh started in Plant a Seed working with the Tupelo Fire Department and is now a member. And so we're going to hear from them just real quickly about what it is they do on a daily basis with the program and what it means for them to be here. So Katana, if you want to start, just talk about Plant a Seed and how long you've been involved and what the mission is of the organization.
Okay. Plant a Seed began in 2011 under the leadership of Mayor Jack Reed. It's continuing, and we have had a strong support from our current mayor, Jason Shelton. What's unique about Plant a Seed is that you can have a lot of summer jobs in a lot of different departments, but a lot of departments do not offer where you can actually go to a fire department, police department, or development services and get that work experience where we can mentor students to see exactly where they want to take a career path. And under our Plant a Seed department, we have been very successful where we actually had lowered the age group to 18 where you could become a fireman. And we have hired 2 firemen, which is a real good success. You have to be between the age of 16 to 19 and attend Tupelo High School. And we also Tupelo Prep and Tupelo Homeschooling. So it's really a program I've actually have grown to love, and just about everybody come through there. They literally get an interview and they get to meet a lot of different talented people from the high school and the young people in the Tupelo area.
Great. And so, Josh, you were one of those 2 that eventually made it on the force, if you will. Talk about what it was like getting involved with Planet Seed. Why did you want to get involved, and what was that experience like for you?
Honestly, Planet Seed was a blessing in my life. I went in 2012 summer. I was going to put in an application. I was like, I'm going to cut some grass this summer. I'm going to make some money before I go to school. And I met Miss Katana. She said, you know what, you seem like a really nice young man. I'm going to see if I can do something good for you. Let me see if I can get you with the fire department. And my brother actually started as a fireman in Tupelo, with the Tupelo Fire Department in '99. He works at the State Fire Academy now. But I never gave being a fireman as for a career any thought. And working with the Tupelo firefighters showed me a greater respect for that type of job. Not only did you could possibly be putting your life on the line, but you touch so many people's lives. Because when you come in contact with people, 90% of the time, they're having a bad day, And me working with the Planet Seed program, I got to see that, man, these guys are going to encourage people, going to help people. I want to be a part of that. And I came back in the summer of 13. Mayor Jack Reed actually sent a letter to my family while I was at school. They sent it to my home address. And they said, if you want your job back, you come back, you did a wonderful job. I came back, I put in an application for full-time. The training officer encouraged me. He said, man, you should try out. And the rest is history. So the Planet Seed program has been wonderful in my life. Such a blessing.
And talk about what it was like from you as a younger person in the community to be an ambassador this weekend. We're going through the airports yesterday. Y'all were meeting new people, representing Tupelo. What was that like for you?
It was a big deal, but I think the biggest deal was being at home, seeing all those people at the send-off, pulling you to the side, saying, we really need you to represent Tupelo. We really need you to do your best. We're praying for you. We're pushing you. That's a big deal to just be 21 years old, and people are saying that they're counting on you. So I take it as a great responsibility, but I appreciate it. It's a good opportunity.
And Josh is also being nominated for Youth of the Year as well here. So he's got an interview on Sunday, and we're hoping he's going to bring that home back to Tupelo as well. And I got to put Councilman Jennings' name in this. He actually, this was his vision, and as a human resources rep, I just got on board with him. He became a great program.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, talk about what you'll be doing during the presentation. You're going to be showcasing your vocal cords a little bit. Is that right?
A little bit.
Okay.
We have a song. I guess you call it a tribute song, expressive song. It's a great song, beautiful song. I'm also singing with a great artist, tribute artist. So we'll do a little singing there. I have a little part in the skit that we'll do. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So
you want to give us a little preview of that? Just a song.
I will.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it.
What do we want to hear? I'm right on the spot.
It's your choice.
Okay.
You can do it, Josh. Come on. Cool.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above, from the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, wide before. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right. That was great. Well, thank y'all so much for being with us today, and good luck tomorrow during the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's bring it back here to us for a second. Again, just remind you what we're doing here. This is the Daily Journal's live coverage of the All-America City Awards. I'm joined with Mayor Jason Shelton here. We have a group of Tupelo members, city leaders, community activists, nonprofit members who are all competing to bring home the 5th All-America City title for Tupelo, Mississippi. And just to give you all some background on what this entails, the group here tomorrow will be presenting a 20-minute, not necessarily skit, but presentation that will sort of tell a chapter of the Tupelo story, if you will. We'll hear from different members of those nonprofits I just mentioned. There'll be some music as well, as you just heard from Josh, and then they'll open it up to questions from a jury who will actually decide which cities are awarded. So I want to remind y'all watching at home to also get involved with us through social media using the hashtags AAC15 and Tupelo AAC. So if y'all have questions for any of us, the mayor, just want to show your Tupelo spirit, feel free to go on there and get involved that way. Mayor, we just heard from Josh and Katana. Talk about the Plant a Seed program and that impact that's had on Tupelo.
Well, what you just saw was absolutely amazing to me. Josh didn't know he was going to be asked to sing, and that was as impromptu as you can get. And he just always knocks it out of the park. He's such a talented young man, such a great ambassador for the city of Tupelo. In addition to having an amazing voice, to have that spirit about him, to that positive, say that people that encounter me are having a bad day. I think it's an understatement. When the fire department shows up at your house, you are having a bad day.
Guaranteed.
He just has such a positive outlook on life, and it's just great. One thing didn't mention, he's also one of the the people that will answer the questions. There's a 10-minute opportunity for us to do the skit or tell the story of Tupelo, and then a 10-minute question and answer session. So we're just excited and looking forward to that. Right.
And I can personally tell you that Josh and a lot of the other Plant a Seed and PAL kids were sort of the Tupelo spirit embodiment yesterday during the airport. Our flight got delayed a little bit. We were rerouted. Awesome Southwest attendees on the flight, but they kept the spirit going and definitely kept the spirits going.
They really, I don't know if it's appropriate to give a shout out to Southwest, but the flight attendants did a wonderful job, and they did. They got the Tupelo group on the flight of 170 or so people. About 25% of the people on the plane were from Tupelo, so the flight attendants got us as a group to help lighten the mood and keep the spirits up during I don't know how long we circled in there, and then but at least a 2-hour delay, if not longer. So it was good, and that's the people on that plane. That's what they know of Tupelo, Mississippi. So if nothing else, we've shown that it's a fun, diverse group of people that can make somebody's day better.
Absolutely. And now we're going to hear from another group that's going to be participating tomorrow in the presentation. So going back to the purpose of the All-America City again. There'll be a group of about 30 to 40 people from nonprofits, city officials, who are going to be telling a chapter of the Tupelo story. And a part of that is how these groups help vulnerable young men and women in our community. And just another plug here for D-Journal. We will be live streaming that presentation tomorrow at 4 o'clock Tupelo time. So make sure to check back in with djournal.com to watch that coverage as well. But right now we have some folks here from the Aquatic Center. We're joined by Sahaya Smith, who is a lifeguard at the Tupelo Aquatic Center, and Nash Bennett, who is part of the Challenger swim team. And so we're going to hear from them about their experiences. Let's give it up, guys.
I don't know. That was a tough act.
Tough act to follow, right?
Yeah, but I got Nash here.
There we go.
Okay.
Sahaya, talk about the Aquatic Center and the role that plays in helping young men and women in Tupelo.
Well, the Tupelo Aquatic Center is it was a vision that has become a reality. And, first of all, I think it's important to say that water sports are, such an important aspect of Tupelo and the surrounding area. We have very long summer months. We're able to spend a lot of time out in the water. And it brings the community together. And now that we have the Aquatic Center, we have more opportunities to bring in, to start different programs, bring in different types of people all over. And one of them, of course, is our, it's going to be with Nash here, and the Challengers League. So that in itself is wonderful. Do you want to say anything about the
Aquatic Center is really cool because ever since I was 8 years old, I've always wanted to be on the swim team. And then one of my mom's friends told her about the aquatic center and about the Challenger League. And ever since I was 8, I've been on Challenger Swim Team.
Awesome. What's that been like for you to be a part of that?
It's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've got to swim like I've always wanted to.
You get to go to Biloxi?
Yeah, I got to go to Biloxi, and I want to go medal this year.
Awesome. And so I talked about the challengers and what that group does. And
Well, I work a lot with individually as a instructor for teaching, swim lessons. There's actually a different group of people that work directly with the Challengers League, but we work as a partnership with the aquatics facility and the Challenger League to get these guys ready, to provide a safe environment, to get them involved in, to provide them the support that they need to be as successful as they are in what they're doing, what they love to do. We all love to do it. So, and then of course, you've got our regular Tupelo swim team, Shockwave, that also is available to our youth, which, between the Challenger League and Shockwave, it is a great group of kids. And I see them start off young, and I see them all the way to where they become leaders in the community, whether it be through teaching other people how to swim, whether it's coaching Challenger Leagues, whether it's lifeguarding, and they are positive kids that you see grow up through this environment with the support that the community has provided them, and now then they can turn around and give that back. Another program that we're very excited about is our our Little Ripples. Yeah, Little Ripples, where the Tupelo Aquatic Center has partnered with the first grade and second grade students in the primary schools throughout Tupelo public school system. They come in the fall as first graders, as second graders, and then in the springtime as first graders. And we teach every student how to swim. It has absolutely, the period of time that I've been working there, we have gone from kids that have come in, like lots of kids. We may be teaching 30, 40 kids at one time, and they come in and terrified, scream and holler. We walk away with war wounds, We're always like, oh yeah, I got like a nice scratch down this way, I got a black eye, Now, you maybe get one, or maybe two, that are just that terrified, because it's become so systematic that we have incorporated it within part of their curriculum and them learning. And it's safety. I believe it was last year, and I wish there was somebody here that could tell me exactly what the story was, but I believe it was last year, we had one of our students come back and tell their teacher that over the summertime, because we teach water safety, but that over the summertime, they actually participated in saving one of their siblings, because they went through our program, they knew what to do, and they were telling them about it, how they had called for help, and had they were able to get help and have a parent there, a guardian, to be able to recognize that child was in trouble and save them. That's one less drowning. And that's really what we're working on.
Well, thank y'all guys so much for being here, and good luck tomorrow as y'all represent Tupelo in the All-America City.
Yeah.
And again, just to remind y'all, we are here live in Denver, Colorado. This is the Daily Journal's live Google Hangout of the All-America City Awards presentation. The team from Tupelo will be competing tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and you can catch that presentation live here at djournal.com. And Mayor, again, we talked about PAL and Plant a Seed and their involvement. Talk about the Aquatic Center and what an impact that's made for Tupelo.
Well, I was glad Nash, I got it out of him that he won the gold medal for the city of Tupelo for the Challenger swim team. Sahai also, and she's too modest to brag about it, but Sahai was recently recognized by the Tupelo City Council for saving the life of an individual that had a medical emergency there at the Tupelo Aquatic Center. And the doctor said if Sahai had not only been there, but been so quick and taken the appropriate actions that the lady would not have survived. So she's just an amazing person. We're very proud to have her with us. And Nash gets a little shy sometimes, but once you get him out of his shell, he has a dynamic personality and such a joy to be around, and such an inspiration for the rest of our delegation. Both the aquatic center itself, it's both the tangible and the intangible. There's a tangible economic benefit to the aquatic center. You have swim meets that 500 people come in on Friday and they leave on Sunday. They spend the night in the hotels. They go eat in the restaurants. They maybe Mary Reed go shopping downtown at Reed's department store, or some of the other in the mall or midtown or downtown shopping districts. And then there's the intangible, that quality of life benefit, the opportunity, the quality of place that we have in Tupelo for our citizens to enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, again, we thank them for being a part of the hangout here, and for you guys watching at home, remember to use the hashtags AAC15 and Tupelo AAC to get involved with the conversation, ask us questions, or whatever you have on your mind. Just make sure you use those hashtags. And now we're actually going to go live in Tupelo. We're joined by Chris Kiefer, who's our education reporter at the Daily Journal, and he has there with him former Mayor Jack Reed Jr., who actually won the All-America City, helped the team win the last All-America City Award in 2011. So Chris is going to talk with Mayor Reed about that experience and what it was like for the city. Chris, can y'all hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us now?
Yes, perfect.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And Jack, we thank you for coming out here to meet with us. You've obviously had a lot of experience going through this. Just 4 years ago, talk about the value of this, the significance of this, which you saw coming out of Tupelo winning this 4 years ago, and the momentum that it created.
Well, even just having the team, just collecting the excellence around Tupelo was valuable. Certainly, we wanted to win, but win or lose, just the getting together, the competition was important. I am a competitive person, competitive in sports, but being competitive is a good thing if you're competitive for the right thing. And after I was elected, one of the things I recognized was Tupelo had kind of hit a slow patch. It was just when blogging was kind of becoming a big deal. This was 2009, and a lot of the bloggers were more negative and angry, and it seemed like we weren't really as proud of the town as we weren't seeing us at our best as often we could. So I was familiar with the All-America City competition, and because we had won it before, but we hadn't really competed in a long time. And I thought, well, let's go get it. Let's give it a shot. So we did, and as Mayor Shelton knows too, I was just I was the mayor, but really the people of Tupelo were the ones that had come up with all the opportunities that we had to showcase Tupelo for, and we it was exciting. The trip, I'll never forget it.
What are some of the things that you remember the most about that trip?
The camaraderie. I remember as Mayor Shelton was talking about, just being together and hanging out together in the hotel. And we were in Kansas City, so a lot of us had not been to Kansas City before. And just again, you're there with, I think there were 23 teams when we were there, and you saw all these other cities with some pretty impressive credentials trying for the same award. And so you listen to some of there was some best practices that some other cities were doing that I was trying to pay attention to take back here, which is what the whole idea is for the Civic League, is to find these communities that are doing great things and try to share them, spread them out. And so I remember that. I remember the practices. I remember the excitement, the passion of the team. We had some really great cheerleaders, Hank and Helen Borner and Donald Oden, and some people just had a really good time being together. I think that came across. And one of the things Mississippi has going for it, in a way, if you make lemonade out of lemons, is so many people have such a low opinion of us around the country still, that if you can show that, hey, we are, in our case, we had also black, white, Asian, all ages being together. They say, gosh, this is a city in the deep South that really seems to get along, that really cares about each other, that has mutual respect for each other and feels like we're all in this together. You know, it was a wonderful opportunity for us to show us at our best.
Sure. What do you think about what they're going through right now? I mean, you see them all, everybody's smiling and looks happy, but Josh talked about the pressure he felt when he left. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot of nerves. What do you remember?
I remember the same thing. I remember, you know, the fact that we had won the years before, and I felt the pressure of that a lot. I'm just being honest. I mean, I really did. In fact, when we finally our name was called, I honestly felt more relief than excitement. But I think that the you know, the experience, if you do your best, we did our best. I mean, I thought we presented our issues best we could. Our three were showing Fair Park as a place for the community to come together, as the front porch of Tupelo, with the free concerts, free films, the opportunities with the fountain for people, again, all ages, races, sexes, to have a place to come together as a community, because as Tupelo is growing, you 37,000 people. It's, you know, it's not Orlando, obviously, but it's not 5,000 people either. And so the opportunity to try to feel like we're all in this together gives us a place. So that was one of them. The greenhouses was one of our other issues. This was really a transformative idea to Methodist Senior Services had. And Tupelo was the first place in the world really to adopt this circular housing with a great room and a hearth and community meals instead of the hospital wing section. That was, you know, that was impressive. We had, you know, I thought we did a good job of putting forth our other point. Our other point was really education. What we've done in public education. Still 95% of our citizens go to public schools, and we're proud of that and what that relates to. It's interesting. I was with a group yesterday, Leadership Mississippi, which is the Mississippi Economic Council's group, came to Tupelo, and they go to different cities every year. This is a class of 50 people. And anyway, one of the guys went to Mississippi State, and he said, I was so impressed with the guys I met from Tupelo. He said, I went to a private school in Jackson. He said, these guys had so much a richer high school experience. So I think, you know, that at our best, we're a great town. We just need to, like this, have an opportunity to show we're at our best.
Sure, great. Well, thank you very much, and we'll send it back.
Yeah, good luck.
To you guys.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. You got a great leader and a great team, and I'm excited.
And Jack, before you get out of there, I know you have to meet your Kiwanis Club, but I think Jason wants to just express some gratitude to you and give you a message before you head out.
Well, Mayor Reed has been there with me every sense of the way, since the election. You know, the transition was so smooth. He spent days upon days helping me learn the ropes. You know, I joke with him a lot of times, but the mayor's car was a Prius. He even took me to the Metro Fuel Center and taught me how to put gas in it. And I said, you know, Mayor, you know, you're teaching me how to pump gas. And he simply responded, well, nobody taught me. But Mayor Reed, I do want to sincerely thank you for not only being a sponsor of this year's team, both your business and your family individually, but take a moment to thank you personally. All three of our submissions are things that are a direct result of your involvement. The Plant a Seed program was something that, I know Councilman Jennings was involved, but the Plant a Seed program was under your leadership. The Aquatic Center was under your leadership. And then the third, the tornado, but our submission is our city's response to the tornado of April 28, 2014. And as chairman of the Long-Term Recovery Committee, you just were involved in that every step of the way. And just want to thank you for everything that you do for the city of Tupelo.
But very, very humbling. I'm just glad I could pass off the keys of the city to somebody capable who cares about the city as much as you do. And you know, Mayor Shelton and I were both backup quarterbacks at Tupelo High School, so I think when you back up, once you get a chance to be on the first team, you really want to give it your best. So you got a first team leader now out there. So good luck. Good luck.
Thank you, Mayor Reed and Chris, for having our coverage live from Tupelo, and we'll come back here and again, just remind everybody watching at home, this is the live djournal.com Google Hangout from Denver, Colorado. We are here with Mayor Jason Shelton and other members of the Tupelo All-America City team. They're here competing this weekend for their 5th All-America City title. And with us right now, we have Mike McGrath, who's actually overseeing the Chief Information Officer, I'm sorry, for the National Civic League, who administers the award. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about what the award means for communities across the country and maybe some background on the award as well. So, Mike, thank you for joining us here today. If you could just start off and give us some background on All-America City and what you've seen it grow into over the years.
Well, the All-America City Award, as you may know, is the oldest civic recognition award for communities in the country. And it was started back in 1949. And the original idea, I have to give a little background about the Civic League, is it started off as a municipal reform organization, so focusing on the structures of city government. They decided to do this award after a newspaper reporter from Minnesota came to the board of the National Civic League and said, what if you guys gave like an award or created like the best managed cities in the country? And the reason that they put it that way is that we, as an organization, had focused on sort of professionalism and effective city management. But the board said, well, that's not really the way communities work. It's not just about government. It's also about citizens getting involved and making it a better community place. So instead of doing an award for the best managed cities in the country, they wanted to do an award for communities that came together around difficult challenges and really pulled together all the different sectors of the community, the nonprofit sector, the private sector, the public sector, local governance, coming together to address particular kinds of issues. So, in the early years, there was a lot of focus on government efficiency and things like that. But over time, it's developed more into being more broadly about community. It's really an award that's given to communities for engaging the public in problem-solving decision making.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen many communities win it and lose it over the years, but the ones that have won it, what do you think it means to a community to be an All-America City?
It's amazing to me how excited some of these communities get about the process, and I think one of the reasons that is because they come together, all these different communities, they're doing all these great things, and they learn from each other, and they find out how they fit into the scheme of things across the country. They go back to their communities and they talk about what they've learned, but they also go back and they say, look, we're getting recognition for the good work we're doing. Communities all over the country are doing incredible things, and oftentimes the media, not local newspapers like yourself, but national newspapers and sort of regional media don't focus on those sort of good news stories. There's an old joke in the news business. We cover crashes, not takeoffs. But this is really one of those unique opportunities for communities to show really all the great things that are going on every day in every community across the country. But these particular communities have shown innovation, inclusivity, and real impact on the issues that they're focusing on.
Well, any tips for the Tupelo team that will be competing tomorrow?
Well, I know Tupelo has done this before, and Tupelo has this heritage, really, as a very engaged, participatory community, great record on civil rights going back to the distant past. I would just say, you're focusing on your projects, and the projects are judged by the things I mentioned, innovation, inclusivity, impact, but also try to find a way, maybe human ways to tell your story. I mean, I just sit in and I watch some of those young people talk about the impact of these programs on them. You obviously want to get that kind of stuff across. You want to be out there talking, the jury is going to ask questions to your delegation. You want to really clearly present your story. Think about it not just as programs, but also the sort of human dynamics to it, and give a feeling for how much the people in your delegation love their community.
Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us. We really appreciate it, and I know we'll see you around tomorrow when Tupelo gets on stage. So thank you again. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And so again, like Mike said, the sort of keys to success here for Tupelo will be presenting those projects that have meant so much to the community, that have helped vulnerable young men and women in our community, And they will present that tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And remember to tune back in to djournal.com to see all that. But one thing we haven't talked about yet, and Mike mentioned a second ago, the ability for a community to respond to some sort of event or disaster. And you mentioned it talking to Jack about the tornado. And that's a big part of the application and what the city is going to represent. So let's talk about that and the response to the 2014 tornado and what that meant for the city.
Well, you know, the tornado of April 28, 2014 was the strongest and most damaging tornado that hit the city of Tupelo in roughly 80 years. You know, it's something that, you know, you know that it happened in the 30s, and it's been so long you don't think it's going to happen again. For Tupelo in particular, though, you have to go back a few months before the tornado into December 23rd, 2013. Just 2 days before Christmas, we had a criminal rob a bank and get into a shootout with 2 of our police officers, and critically injured one and fatally wounded Sergeant Gail Stauffer. Not only had that never happened in the history of the city of Tupelo, for it to happen just 2 days before Christmas, and then for it to be, you know, one of our own, not just a police officer, but you know, his mother is one of our department heads just in the city, and it just was a shock to the city of Tupelo. Our citizens just immediately rallied, and we had a citizen-led prayer vigil at Fair Park on Christmas Day, and I kind of get goosebumps when I talk about it. But we, as a city, we have Park and Rec and different entities, Public Works, getting stuff to get ready for that prayer vigil. When we got there, everything was set up. Private citizens had brought their own PA systems, had brought their own candles, had brought everything needed, and you know, and everybody gathered in prayer. That tragedy brought the city of Tupelo together, and while still recovering from that as a city, you know, we get punched in the gut with a tornado of that magnitude. That just, thank God, no loss of life in the city of Tupelo, but from a property aspect, just devastating to the city of Tupelo. We never saw the, oh, pitiful me, oh, what are we going to do? The citizens of the city of Tupelo immediately jumped into action and said, we are Tupelo, we are going to rebuild. You know, we're battered but not beaten, and we're going to overcome this obstacle. And that's what we've done. You know, the tornado hit on a Monday. That week, you know, we were just inundated with calls of how to help. Melinda Tidwell, who's here, part of our delegation with United Way, was just Johnny on the spot. She was here too at our CVB, Convention Visitors Bureau, set up our disaster recovery center. She documented over 3,000 volunteers to come in and help the citizens of Tupelo. And those were just the official volunteers that came in through the recovery center at CVB. That does not include the churches that just went on their own. It does not include the civic groups that went on their own. And then the huge number of family and friends, you know, with, you know, for someone living in Joyner, their family, friends, you know, Sunday school group, whoever comes to help them. And that's not even included in that 3,000 people. And so, stop me if I talk too long, but I can talk for a while on this one. But you know, we have that, and it's just amazing. We have full, you know, all hands on deck with the city. Every single department became a disaster relief entity for the city. As I said, United Way documented over 3,000 volunteers. We go through the process. The President of the United States, the Governor of the state of Mississippi declared Tupelo a official disaster area. We've been working through that process. And then in came 8 Days of Hope, which is a faith-based Christian ministry that serves communities that are adversely impacted by a natural disaster. Just happenstance, this national organization is based in Tupelo, Mississippi. So, home is where they were needed the most. And they set the record for volunteerism with more than 3,000 volunteers that came in and did over $5 million worth of work in just 8 days to rebuild individual homes, churches, city facilities, and just to rebuild Tupelo. And so those over 6,000 documented volunteers, they did the heavy lifting. The city of Tupelo has received, editorial praise and different, accolades for the response, and it's our submission here. But I can't stress enough that the city of Tupelo, the government of the city of Tupelo, couldn't have done it this well without the citizen response, the volunteer efforts. Just one simple thing, the city of Tupelo by law, even in a disaster, can't do improvements on private property. We can clear the streets. So the United Way did it for us. The United Way got all of the debris out of individual yards, got it to the streets where our contractors and the city public works crew and park and rec crew and water and light crew could get that done. Speaking of water and light, our director, Johnny Timmons, I didn't know water and light had its own, I guess you'd say, utility reserve corps. The utility entities have mutual aid agreements. Well, that's wonderful, and it's very needed. But when a group comes to Tupelo from Kentucky or Louisiana, and we say, the light poles are down on Lumpkin Street, we're ready to go. Where in the world's Lumpkin Street? And so what Johnny did, without mentioning it to me, without mentioning it to anyone, he told me over a luncheon a week or so later, an appreciation luncheon for the guys, what Johnny did, and this is just an example of working together in Tupelo. Johnny called in every retired Tupelo water and light worker that he could think of and assigned that retired worker to an out-of-state crew. Right. So the crew from Kentucky or the crew from Louisiana had a retired water and light employee there on the truck with them. So when we said we need help on Lumpkin Street or on Joyner Avenue, said, let's go.
Right. They knew where to point them.
Where to go.
Well, obviously the tornado is going to be a big part, and we have folks from 8 Days of Hope here with us, and all those other organizations are going to play a huge part in what y'all are presenting tomorrow. And again, that's at 4 o'clock, the presentation. We will have a live stream here at djournal.com. The city is actually also opening up its city council chambers tomorrow afternoon. So if you don't have an internet stream or just want to go be with your fellow Tupelo residents, you go up there and they will have the stream live broadcast from the council chambers there.
I can't promise he'll perform. He's musically talented in his own right. But
That's right.
Councilman Buddy Palmer, as my understanding, will be there to greet the individuals.
Great.
And maybe do an Elvis tribute while performing the duties of acting mayor while we're out here representing Tupelo. The other thing that is not part of the All-America City effort in and of itself, but representation of Tupelo this weekend. This happens to be the Mississippi in the Park in New York City in Central Park. So we have a delegation from the CBB mainly, but Elvis' birthplace in CBB, representing the city of Tupelo in New York City, where the theme of Mississippi in the Park this year is Elvis-based in honor of the what would have been the 80th birthday of Elvis Presley. So we have hopefully coast-to-coast positive publicity this week, and just such a great representation of the city of Tupelo all over the country.
Absolutely. And speaking of Elvis, the king of rock and roll will be in the house tomorrow during the presentation. Again, that's at 4 o'clock. And you can catch that live stream on djournal.com and also on the second floor of City Hall in the City Council chambers. Mayor, I want to thank you for being with us today. Again, we are live in Denver, Colorado for the All-America City Awards. The city of Tupelo will be presenting their platform tomorrow, 4 o'clock, and we will have a live stream of that at djournal.com. And you can catch the awards presentation on Sunday at 8 p.m., which is where the city will find out if it becomes the 5th All-America City in the country, which is a feat that not many have achieved. So obviously it would be a big deal,
7, yeah.
Right? And the first in the South, it would be for Tupelo. So obviously a lot on the line for you guys, but I know y'all put in a lot of practice here in this room just about 30, 45 minutes ago. and that practice will continue. Make sure to keep up with djournal.com in between these live streams and interactive content for just wall-to-wall coverage of the All-America City team as they prepare to bring back the gold.
Yeah, everybody at home, tweet, retweet, and repeat. Just keep it going.
That's right. And thank you guys at home for watching, and hope to see you guys again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Rob.